Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you for joining me here for the Taz Effect, daily news in a way you did not know you could use. Currently, President Donald John Trump Sr. is holding a bit of a presser, and once again, he's acting as if experts in certain industries don't exist because he's trying to convince America that our gas prices are down to just over $1 per gallon. Oh, how I wish I was joking. I miss the days where there were a lot more fluff pieces, a lot more weird news segments. But here we are. Here we are. Good afternoon, everyone. Now, because we all need a little bit of levity, let's start there, okay? Coming straight from the Independent, over 200,000 signed Danish petition to buy California from US and even rename it Disneyland. I love the pettiness of the globe coming together. Going, you know what, Trump, you're money hungry. You want to play Monopoly? We'll play Monopoly too. A Danish petition to buy California has flown past 280,000 signatures as fury in Europe grows over Donald Trump Sr.'s plan to annex Greenland. The satirical petition includes a plan to rename Disneyland to Hans Christian Andersen Land and would even rename the Golden State itself. If the poll is successful, California would be rebranded as New Denmark. I'd visit. The appeal is currently live on a website called Denmarkification.com. The ironic page includes a huge list of reasons for buying California and even uses Trump's own justification for taking Greenland, a Danish territory, against himself. They say, and I quote, "It is in the national interest to promote the extraordinary heritage of our nation, so California will become New Denmark. Los Angeles, more like Los Angeles." I'm finding it. I'm finding it. I'm finding it. Trump has long claimed that taking control of Greenland is in the United States' national interest, citing the island's rich resources of rare earth minerals. He has also claimed that he would protect the island's freedom. He can't even protect the freedoms here. He's collecting our freedoms like they're infinity stones and he's Thanos. Making allegations of a massive buildup of Russian and Chinese forces in the region. And it's funny that he's saying we got to protect from Russia, but we're not even protecting the United States from Russia. Because word on the curb is that someone from within this current administration leaked some information to Putin regarding Ukraine. Y'all. That's not who really needs information right now. Did y'all not hear Iran be very public and on the record saying what they want to do? They want to send Trump to the upper room. But I love the pettiness of it. So if you want to Hans Christian Andersen land, I love it. But if you want to check out the website for yourself, once again, it is Denmarkification.com. That is Denmarkification. You're right, Jay. They will not miss a second time. I was like, oh, they just came right on out and was like, hey, we take credit for it. Welcome in as more people start to trickle in. Once again, thank you for those listening in over the radio airwaves at gcpr.live and those watching on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. Unfortunately, we do not have Substack today. Had a little appointment before we started the show, so I did not get those links prepared. That is on me. But also, Justice Department subpoenas Waltz and others in immigration enforcement obstruction investigation. So we just don't care about the Constitution anymore. What happened to all of the constitutionalists? What happened to the people of law and order? Ow. And I just broke a nail. It's just one of those days. Hey, Nana J. We'll fix the nail after the show. Federal prosecutors served 6 grand jury subpoenas Tuesday to Minnesota officials as part of an investigation into whether they obstructed or impeded federal law enforcement during a sweeping immigration operation in Minneapolis in the St. Paul area, a person familiar with the matter said. The subpoenas, which seek records, were sent to the offices of Governor Tim Walz, Attorney General Keith Ellison, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, St. Paul Mayor Keholie Herr, and officials in Ramsey and Hennepin counties, the person said. Isn't it funny that all of a sudden, all of the people that are attached to the lawsuit suing the DOJ are now under investigation? I thought y'all were supposed to be turning all of your resources into investigating the death of Renee Good. Oh, I'm sorry. You're spinning it into the assault on the ICE agent. But isn't that what y'all, because y'all don't have a whole lot of hands on decks to put on there, Department of Justice, because let's not forget all of the great career prosecutors you pushed out, and then the ones that you fired publicly and tried to make a public spectacle out of, and then tried to prosecute, and then the ones that you're trying to reallocate to other places as you're trying to dismantle certain subsets within the Department of Justice. And you have hundreds of attorneys right now on the Epstein/Maxwell files while you're still not adhering to the law. But go off, Queen. The person was not authorized to publicly discuss an ongoing investigation and spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. The subpoenas are related to an investigation into whether Minnesota officials obstructed federal immigration enforcement through public statements they made. 2 people familiar with the matter said on Friday. They said then it was focused on the potential violation of a conspiracy statute. Conspiracy to what? Hold you accountable to current legislation and the Constitution. Are we well? Are we well? Hmm. I got And speaking of ICE, yesterday, ICE broke into Minnesota home, forced barely clothed man outside into the snow. A Minnesota man told Reuters on Monday he felt fear, shame, and desperation a day after ICE officers broke down his door with guns drawn, handcuffed him, and forced him outside into the snow wearing shorts and Crocs. Chung Lee Tao, 56, a naturalized U.S. citizen who goes by the name Scott, was returned home later on Sunday without explanation or apology. Now, a lot of people are placing the blame on these particular raids and these particular instances solely on ICE. And yes, ICE is responsible. ICE bears a ton of accountability because they have billions upon billions in budgetary resources that they can do better vetting, especially with the rhetoric and the narrative that they're putting forward. But here's some people that are not being held accountable, that are not being plastered all over the place, and that are not being brought into the conversation enough. The people who are calling on their neighbors, the people that are living out Red Scare 2.0, McCarthyism 2.0 fantasies. The people that are like, I never like that neighbor because they have prettier, better stuff than me, and I feel like they're living better than me, that are calling. Like the woman who went to a Jamaican restaurant, didn't like the food, and decided to call ICE on the restaurant. Instead of asking for a refund, asking for a different dish, writing a bad review. This is what's going on. I need you all to understand, recognize, and accept, and start doing something about the fact that your neighbors, your friends, your family members, your coworkers are weaponizing ICE. Oh, there's tons of them, Chuckles, that are from Jan 6 that are now popsicles. But I need you all to realize what's going on. Because there are people right now. I need you all to think about how much jealousy is encouraged in our current society and has been encouraged throughout the overtaking of this blood drenched soil. Okay, because that's what that was, an overtaking. People really think that if they get rid of you, I say, that they can step into your shoes, that they will get the accolades, the praise, the love, the adoration, the baubles, all of those things if you're out of the way. So that girl that you ain't talked to in 20 years because she wanted your man or your woman or your non-binary person, be weary. Be weary. And I wish I was joking, but be weary. Anybody that's been around you going, must be nice. This is their time to shine. This is their way of humbling you. We talk about instances like this when it comes to romantic partners. A lot when it comes to pointing out the jealousy of a man in a relationship towards their partner, where they're constantly trying to humble them or take them down and not. This is going to be a way for people to humble their enemies, their perceived enemies, those one-sided beefs. Because I want you to really consider, how does ICE know what neighborhoods to go to? Why is ICE in certain parking lots looking for certain people? There are quite a few business owners that have made it known their doors will no longer be unlocked. They will open the door, let somebody in, lock the door behind them. So, in the instance that ICE comes or anybody wants to be funny and try to do a citizen's arrest or help out ICE, they won't be able to. Also, there's a lot of information going around under the guise of keeping people safe. Let me explain something to you. If someone runs into your private business, runs into your private home, close the door, say nothing. Don't ask about a warrant, don't ask about anything. ICE is supposed to present a warrant and tell you that they have a warrant. Do not speak to them. Don't ask about a warrant, don't ask about a supervisor. Any communication with them will give them, according to the rules that Christine keeps pulling out the center of her booty crack to come through. Multiple attorneys, law professors, judges have said, do not communicate with them through a door. If you have to communicate with them, ask no questions. Okay, TikTok, once again, we have been flagged for harassment and bullying. So let me put out this preemptive reminder that should the TikTok feed go down, you can still view on Facebook. You can listen at gcpr.live. That is gcpr.live. Or you can go over to YouTube and view from there. But once again, you do not lie, Do not intentionally try to hide anybody. If they hide on their own, they hide on their own. I suggest that you just stand there facing the door, so whatever they do behind you, you have plausible deniability. You catch what I'm putting down, okay? Pick up that 2 cent, put it in your back pocket. But all these people saying, remind them of your rights, you better not. Read the room. Keep in mind, DHS that handles Border Patrol and ICE. And don't just focus on ICE, because Border Patrol is out here doing some crazy shenanigans as well. They are chronicling, they're videoing themselves, and they are making like movie, Hollywood level trailers as propaganda pieces to make people more comfortable with watching people die and be abducted and be dehumanized on camera. Exactly. Be Helen Keller. So don't. Mm-mm. Now, to more serious news on Greenland and Denmark. But once again, if you want a good chuckle to see how people over in Europe are being petty regarding Trump and his desires for a Nobel Peace Prize and to get Greenland, remember you can go to Denmark, like the country, denmarkification.com. But Trump's Greenland threat sparked outrage and defiance from EU testing longtime NATO alliances. President Donald Trump Sr.'s pledge to provoke a sweeping tariff fight with Europe to get his way in taking control of Greenland has left many of America's closest allies warning of a rupture with Washington that would shatter the NATO alliance that had once seemed unshakable. Keep in mind, we are finally at the 1 year mark. Today starts year 2 of the second Trump term. Let us not forget that this time last year, shortly after, excuse me, he was inaugurated, sworn into office, if you will, countries started to say, you know what, we're no longer sharing intelligence with the United States. The European Union's top official on Tuesday called Trump's planned new tariffs over Greenland a mistake and questioned Trump's trustworthiness. He has none. You ain't got to question it. He has none. Okay. If his trustworthiness was a bank account, baby, it would be so in the negative. He would not be able to open a cash app. Okay. French President Emmanuel Macron said the EU could retaliate against its long-standing ally by deploying one of its most powerful economic tools, known colloquially as a trade bazooka. Do it. Do it. I mean, give me a little warning first so I can get a couple cases of vino. Just saying. And a little herb de Provence. Okay. Don't judge me. Don't. Well, maybe a little bit, but just. Trump prides himself on racketing up pressure to try and negotiate through a position of strength that never works for him. It didn't work in the private sector. It has not worked from the Oval. He thinks that he is Fredo, but he never finished the Godfather series. You know what? Hey, Trump grandkids. Hey, focus. Somebody go. Get the Godfather trilogy. Take it up to the White House. Go visit your grandpa. I know y'all really don't like to do that unless you just, holding clearance sales for y'all merch on the front lawn. Because, after he became a used car salesman there, why not? Go to the movie theater in the White House. Play that for him all the way through. Okay? Yeah, let him know that he makes offers that we all can refuse. And we do. Gleefully. He is slated to leave on Tuesday, the anniversary of his inauguration, for the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, a venue that could give him the chance to diffuse tensions as quickly as he sought to stir them up. He doesn't know how to diffuse anything. We've seen his hair. Like you like that, did you? But European leaders digging in and vowing to defend Denmark and its semi autonomous control over Greenland may be seeking just as hard to meet an extraordinary moment with their own demonstration of fierce resolve. Here's the thing. FAFO is coming to taco tits. Okay. That's what's going to happen because at this point, capitulation is no longer the name of the game when it comes to world leaders because world leaders cannot look weak to one another and they cannot look weak to their people. In other countries, as much as y'all want to joke about other countries being weak, hello, we are the weakest link over here in the United States. Live it, love it, skip it, or jump it. It's the truth. They will get unseated, dethroned, if you will, in real time. Their citizens are not going to wait for another election cycle. Their citizens will remove them today. Okay, they'll be sitting over at that summit and they'll get a text message, an email, a note slid to them. Hey partner, come on, come with us. Yeah, we done already cleared off your desk. Yeah, you're sorry, you're not the prime minister anymore. Nope, you're not the president anymore. The people spoke. They said they tired of you kissing Trump's butt. Yeah. Well, in 45 minutes, they got rid of you, held a new election, and your replacement's walking in right now. Absolutely not. Other countries, if Trump was the leader of another country, he would already be in jail by now. They would have already arrested him right up out the Oval, had him indicted, had the trial, had him convicted and sentenced. Okay. And then they would have held a carnival of sorts over a 5-day weekend. Okay. Everybody would have had a paid 5-day weekend. Okay. They'll be in the streets talking about, can you smell what the Rock is cooking? His ass. But here, yeah. World leaders cannot continue to look as if they're kowtowing to Trump. But if you want world leaders to step up, not just for the sake of themselves, but for the sake of us, baby, you got to open up some of their handbooks. Okay, you got to start showing them that this subset of people in the United States do not speak for all of us. This ain't one band, one sound. Absolutely not. That could hurt the chances of Trump finding a quick way to turn around the crisis. And even as the furor over Trump's escalating calls for U.S. control of the vast Arctic island seems ready to engulf the elite annual meeting in Switzerland, Greenland's leader insisted on respect for its territorial integrity and said recognition of international law is not a game, and it's not. Send Trump back to the United States with his tail tucked between his legs. Don't let him come back and spin the narrative. Hold press conferences, go, yeah, we picked him up and put him back in his place. We had to remind him this ain't what it's going to do. You have to remind Trump who stands with who and who's not standing with the United States right now. And Iran, you need his address? Because we heard you wanted to have tea time with Trump. He likes Diet Coke. Room temperature, allegedly. I may have gone to AT&T, but it's definitely not one band, one sound. I can't with y'all. Well, he goes between a toss-up between McDonald's, a double quarter pounder, a Big Mac, a fillet of fish, and fries all in one meal, or cold ass original recipe KFC. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen pushed back against Trump's announcement that starting February, a 10% import tax will be imposed on goods from 8 European nations that have rallied around NATO ally Denmark. Greenland is a semi autonomous territory of Denmark. Business owners, especially retailers and service providers. Yes, exactly. No mashed potatoes. Retailers and service providers, especially. Start labeling your websites, your shelves, wherever you have your prices listed, if you have brick and mortar, let them know the tariff differences. Let them know why your prices are increasing. Start being honest, because we know as much as MAGA, the current MAGA faction of the GOP, loves to get, no, that's not because of, yes. And they always go, I wouldn't support this business if they're not. They're everywhere, okay? They're everywhere except for where they claim they want to be. MAGA don't like MAGA. MAGA don't like MAGA businesses. There's no creativity there. There's no fun. There's no flavor. Okay, all of that's over here with the rest of us. Start posting it. See, protesting isn't just about taking to the streets. The number one rule of protesting is truth telling. Let me repeat that. Number one, when it comes to protesting, is truth telling. Your protest can be your signage. Your protest can be the truth in your price breakdown. And once again, all of y'all sitting there screaming, match energy, match it. I match energy. I'm so petty. I'm so petty. Match MAGA's energy. They have been preemptively putting lawsuits into the judicial system since Trump got a whiff of politics. Do the same. Do the same. Present a lawsuit saying that, hey, I should be okay with not even allowing someone on my premises if they have on MAGA merch. Lobby and make America great MAGA hate speech. Make disinformation and misinformation that is intentional a crime. Lobby for it. What happened to that matching energy? You should be matching energy for the sake of your own livelihood and survival. Put up no soliciting signs. And on the signs, discussing anything MAGA is considered solicitation and is subject to you being removed and or banned. Exactly, Nana J. Class action suits. Like, what are y'all doing? You sit around and you make fun of the things that MAGA does, but you need to take it and flip it. Do what they do. They take all of our ideas, steal them, as racist colonizers do, and go do it and get their way with it. Why aren't you? Because if I see one more post about in 2026, I'm matching energy, prove it. I don't want to hear nobody else label themselves as petty until you get politically petty. You heard me? And fellas, it's time for y'all to step up and shine now too. Because just like the women are getting on these apps, searching out the men, and look, LGBTQI, your time to shine too. Get on these apps. When they're out here like, why won't you date a conservative? Start turning them heifers and them non-binary folks in too. I need y'all to stop acting as if women are not complicit in this either. There are female ICE agents. There are non-binary ICE agents. There are women and non-binary folks in this administration that are just as despicable and diabolical. And with that, I do want to amend something that I said yesterday. Because I told you, as it goes along with this administration and who's the puppeteer and who's truly amongst the box of puppets, this will be evolving as more information came up. And I've been thinking about something. I said that the singular most powerful Svengali in Trump's circle is Stephen Miller, and I stand corrected. I stand corrected. Stephen Miller is still a Svengali of Trump's, but the most powerful one, the one that has the most control over Trump, is his chief of staff, the first woman to hold that position, Susie Wiles. And I'm going to say this. Susie Wiles made it known that she has no respect for anybody in this administration, including Trump. She made it known that she knows their kryptonite and she knows their strengths. And she has no problem using it. She knows about everything that's going on, and she's allowing it to happen because nobody's going to pin it on her because people keep forgetting that she's there. And even with everything that came out publicly, not once did she break a sweat, not once did she scramble or try to make a public statement to try to explain it away. And what did Trump do? Something that he does not normally do. In the history of his existence staining the planet, he said, "Oh, I agree with her. She wasn't wrong." That is a power over Trump. I have not seen in all my decades on this planet. That is a power over Trump I have never seen. His own parents didn't have that much power over him. There's been no leaking of a text message, a phone call, an email, a letter. There was no Truth Social post going, "Oh, she's rough. She's so the shit. She's so bad. There's gonna be a reply." No. She told the world that this current administration is incompetent, stupid, underqualified. I'm paraphrasing. And Trump said, "Oh, she's right." She even said that he has the personality of an alcoholic. Also, if you were not aware, Italian fashion designer Valentino Garavani, yes, Valentino passed away yesterday at the age of 91. Um, and that is according to his official foundation. Now, as I stated, today marks the start of century two of the Trump tyrannical takeover. I mean presidency, year two, year two. Oh, now let's go over in just 1 year. Trump's new Air Force One that's supposed to go with him after he leaves office, which according to the Constitution he's not supposed to, because in all technicality, any presents or gifts to the sitting president are gifts and presents to the people of the United States, not the actual individual. Now, Congress can grant them the ability to keep certain gifts, and over the years, different presidents have been able to, keep different things, but usually it's been nothing of real high value. Hey, Susan. But let's not forget the plane from Qatar. That's still in progress. We're footing the bill for that. And by the time that it's up to par for presidential standards, he'll be in the grave or no longer president. But yeah. And that cost will, at the end, be $400 million. Uh, Trump is still trying to annex Greenland. There is still an investigation into specifically Joseph Robinette Biden's use of the auto pen, but not Trump's use of the auto pen. You know, a century ago, Jung and Freud treated patients with scary drugs that are now illegal. Swear some of these Richie Rich families never quit self-prescribing it. Oh, they definitely still taking it. Uh, I don't know if y'all remember this or not, but the DOJ, it's still one of the many pet projects of Pam Bondi, is still trying to figure out how to completely reopen Alcatraz. Yes, Alcatraz, that is currently a historic landmark and a tourist attraction. They do have a gift shop, um, and shut down because it became too expensive to keep up. But yeah, also still in progress. Trump had They keep saying it's in the works, but I feel like it's in the works just like a Trump healthcare plan. 50-year home mortgages. And Trump is still behind the scenes actively trying to figure out a way for him to have a third term. Well, unless reincarnation is just gonna let you die for 2 seconds and come back in the exact same body at the exact same age and just continue on, it ain't happening, my boy. You ain't about to see that one through. Now, what Trump did let go of from his first year last year, trying to make Canada the 51st state. If you remember, shortly after his inauguration, he was photographed in the Oval with the United States flag all over the United States and Canada. Like if he put it on there, that was gonna make it so. Him wanting to tour Fort Knox or sending Elon Musk to do so. They let that go. I guess it wasn't so important to go audit Fort Knox. Or somebody finally explained to him the order of operations. He finally gave up on sending thousands of migrants to Guantanamo. That's because they have a lot of facilities pulling a duality right now. And once again, if you would like to see the breakdown of all the facilities that, whether it's a duality or not, that are housing migrants and immigrants right now, you can find that at camptaz.blogspot.com. Or if you're on Facebook, I don't know if it's linked on Facebook, but on TikTok or YouTube, it's linked in the bio. He also, at least publicly, has given up turning the Gaza Strip into a Mediterranean sea resort. Remember, he wanted to make it the Riviera of the Middle East. Now he's just currently trying to strong arm people into a Gaza peace coalition for a $1 billion buy-in after saying that other countries were broke and weren't paying their other bills for years now. I don't know how to work. How you gonna call a motherfucker broke for all this time? Sorry, angry. How you gonna call him broke for all this time and then you gonna ask $1 billion? That ain't no little funky $20. That's $1 billion. He's also stopped talking about tariff revenue checks, but I feel like you should reach out to everybody you know or don't know, or people that you see randomly online or offline talking about Trump, saying, proclaiming that they're MAGA, ultra MAGA, super MAGA. They just love Trump, 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 Trump. Tell them to contact Trump and ask them about the tariff checks, because I'm pretty sure they could use it right about now. He also stopped talking about eliminating the federal income tax. He also, maybe you knew this, maybe you didn't. He stopped talking about changing NFL kickoff rules. And why did he want to do that? Because he doesn't like the dynamic of the kickoff. He calls it demeaning and unromantic. I don't know what about football is supposed to be romantic, but hey, go off. Want to be dictator? So now, what has he accomplished that he had on his little bucket list? Renaming the Department of the Department of Defense the Department of War. The War Department. Renaming, well, adding on to the name of the Kennedy Center. Reducing China's influence on the Panama Canal. That's a toss-up. Creating the Trump gold cards for the sake of immigration. Don't know of anybody who's purchased one. Some people are saying, well, he's accomplished the ballroom. No, he didn't. He accomplished rubble. Like, I want you to think about something, okay? If the White House lived in a community that had an HOA, I'll need y'all to think about how many citations and how many fines the White House will get right about now, okay? If the White House was your neighbor, living in your neighborhood, no matter where you live, okay? You could be in the trailer SD of trailer parks, the hoodest of hoods. You understand me? You would have been calling the city on the White House for how they looking. Okay. Y'all remember a few years back where a woman paid somebody to put a porch up? Well, she hired somebody to put a porch up and she didn't pay them properly and they came and repossessed her porch. Yes, pretty much. All right. He ain't paying nobody. We're not getting no East Wing. Um, Now, what to keep your eye on starting off in this next go round of the of Trump 2.0 administration? Possible, highly plausible US military action in Colombia, Mexico, and Iran. Because for some reason, Trump think we can fight, and he think we can fight real good. We can't. Okay, we barely learning how to cuss real good over here. I think he keeps forgetting that in the grand scheme of things, looking at a lot of other countries on this floating space rock, we're a teenager. Okay, we just now starting to cuss a little good. Uh, Trump is still pushing for his golden dome. I don't know why he thinks. Well, I do, because Trump was not raised rich. Trump just rolls with what he believes rich people do and what makes you look rich. I'm no strategic military mind, but I would just think weaponry made out of gold would not be a benefit to us. Trump is also still pushing to make Pete Rose a Hall of Famer. Bruh, that's why are you trying to get in every bit of business except for the business that you were technically hired for? Oh, um, Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker. I need you to channel every bit of your good friend Michael Jackson. Okay. I need you to put all the bass in your voice. Tell them y'all don't care about us and F you. Because there's a lot of scuttlebutt swirling that we're going to get a rush hour 4 because Trump requested it. Mhm. I I can't even say I'm finding it because no, it's lost. It. Oh, also, those viewing on TikTok and YouTube, if you would like to support one of our fellow wondrous hosts from GCPR, one of the co-host of Rouse High Exhausted, on his quest to make the United States a better place as he is being boots on the ground for the sake of activism and activism towards equity. Dave the Viking, his GoFundMe is linked in my link tree that is linked into my bio. Please mosey on over there and do that if you will. Uh, quick programming note. Do not forget that tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, Conversations with Taz, Talk About It Tuesday will be airing live for you on YouTube. Also, today at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, we will be finishing up the chapter that we did not finish on Friday of Nobody's Girl. And Nobody's Girl is the memoir from Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, victim Virginia Roberts Giuffre. Also, if you would like to learn about the history of all the factions of the GOP, you can check the link in my bio and go over to Substack and get all of that goodness there. If you on CNBC, yes. And if you would like to learn more about history and get a Black queer woman's point of view on everything, you can head on over to my Substack at TazJ on Substack and go ahead and subscribe there. Do keep in mind that on Monday evenings, 5:30 Eastern to 6:30 Eastern p.m. each and every Monday, we do host open discussions on race. There are no dumb questions, just open minds. Ah, I want y'all to keep in mind that your president, the quote unquote leader of the free world, got up on national television to talk to the presidents and citizens of these here United States, admit that we, the United States, are already selling oil out of Venezuela. And he's telling us that our gas prices will continue to go down and that he's gotten them down to under $2 a gallon. I want you to take that, pick it up, put in your back, like, just rest it right in the back of your mind. Rest it right there. Let it take a nap right there. Okay, when it wakes up, think about that again. That the president of the United States keeps talking to us as if they're not experts in the fields that he's talking about. That keeps talking to us as if we're not living here. You want to know why he keeps doing it? Because we keep letting him. We keep letting him. Like I told y'all yesterday, every major news outlet, every TV station, whether your news is super local or whatever, or regional, on their websites, anywhere, their addresses, start writing them, complaining. Why are you perpetuating the lies? You cannot still say that the United States is one of the freest places ever. The United States is so wonderful and great. And we have anti-Hamas propaganda running in commercials on TV. We have people saying that there's a war on Christianity, but we have Jesus commercials. We have a president that keeps lying more than we blink and breathe. And everybody's just letting it go. Because I promise you that if somebody took you out to O'Charlie's and you didn't like that sweet honey fried chicken platter, you would make more of a ruckus about that than what you're making about this. I really need to know why y'all were quicker to dig all into somebody's business, put together all these campaigns, rally the troops to go bully, harass, or mass report somebody that didn't like a video you made, that laughed too hard at your significant other's joke, that decided they didn't want to be friends with your bestie. Like, y'all pick the dumbest reasons to utilize your skills. Y'all joke about, yeah, my bestie is better than the FBI. Where's she at now? Where's he at now? Somebody can come on the internet today and go, you know what, y'all? My house burnt down. Can y'all just help me get a hotel? And you want to drudge up the fact that they got 3 detentions in the 3rd grade and suspended once the 4th week of school in the 10th grade and count that against them. But we got a 34-time convicted felon sitting in the West Wing. And y'all just said, he just gonna get away with it. He just gonna get away. Y'all, I love y'all, but you work my nerves. Like I said, I don't want to hear no more about matching energy till you do it. I don't want to hear more about being petty till you're politically petty. I don't want to hear you label yourself and make it seem like that you've already gone through your villain arc when you haven't. It is what it is. What'd you say, Chuckles? My opinion. A convicted felon cannot pardon anyone. I'm with you there. I don't think that a convicted felon should be able to pardon anyone at all. I don't see how he couldn't pass a background check to work for a lot of companies. There's so many people toot their nose up to, but he was able to become president. That's supposed to be our representation. But every time certain people see a black person that's ghetto, miss me with that. But as always, thank you all for joining me here for the Taz Effect, daily news in a way that you did not realize that you could use. If you missed any parts of today's broadcast, you can trickle on over to YouTube, link in my bio, and you can see all of them in reverse order. They go up as soon as we click off of here. Also, I will see you all tomorrow, same place, same time. You're most welcome, Susan. And if you like what is done here, make sure you check out other shows on GCPR.live and bring a friend when you come back. But as always, each one teach one, each one reach one. Y'all be good. Don't do anything that requires bail. And remember, it only requires bail if you get caught.